I personally have played close to 4 years of D&D, and almost all of that has been online through virtual tabletop. I personally know what it feels like to go through a little bit of burnout and lose your love for the game. Now, what I can say is, if you're feeling like your table and your game sessions are losing steam faster than the hype over avocado toast, then scoot on in, because I have a little bit of advice that could probably save your game and save your players' love for D&D. Hey there everybody, this is AJ and welcome to First Time DM. I'm going to be covering some different advice that you can use with your players to reignite their love for the game. And at the end of it, they'll thank you for your next session. If any players are tuning in and they're feeling like they're getting sick of it, maybe even not feeling like they want to show up for the next session, well then, you can use this advice, share it with your DM, and see what they think. Trust me, it will help. To figure out how to fix your game session and how to make your players love your games, you're first going to have to ask what's wrong. If you've known your players for a very long time, then this might be easier than asking a group of strangers. They might not be as forthright. But what you can do instead is have them share their thoughts anonymously through a survey, or just any way to get their opinions down. You can ask very simple questions like, what do you like that's happening at the table? What don't you like that's happening at the table? Or what do you want to change about it? I'll be honest, most of you lovely people probably aren't doing anything wrong. It's all the Among Us memes rolling around that gives you imposter syndrome, making you think that it's a lot worse than it actually is. You're likely not even running into any issues, and you're probably overthinking it. But let your table tell you that. I'll let you in on a little secret. These tips could even work for great games that you just want to make better. Let's talk about changing up the dynamic. Once you understand what is wrong, then you can go and address it. If your players aren't saying that the game is challenging enough, then you can always crank up the encounter difficulty or add more puzzles. If your players are saying that you're lacking one of the 3 pillars, combat, exploration, or socializing, then maybe you can just add a little bit more of that. If they feel like the story isn't going anywhere, then you can add different milestones or progression to show them just how far they've come. If they don't like the tone or how the campaign has really developed, you can always change that too. Sometimes people go into it with joke characters, not taking it seriously at all, and then start to grab an affinity for the sessions and for the tabletop experience. If you started your sessions playing in Descent to Avernus or Out of the Abyss, and these people are stuck in a certain place for a very long time, they could get disengaged and just sick of the locale. So if they tell you that, then just give them a quest to get out of there. And tone is so important throughout your playing. If your characters used to joke around a ton and now really want to start doing some more heavy RP, well then that's totally fine. You can just adjust your campaign setting to be able to facilitate that. This way you can crank up the character arcs and add in some serious tough decision making and really make those characters feel like they have an impact on the story. Now, another way to make your characters fall in love with D&D all over again is to do a little bit more to incorporate their character's backstory into your D&D campaign. A minor spoiler warning here for Critical Role Season 3. Travis Willingham, who plays the character Chetney, actually wrote in his backstory that while he was a wood carver, wood maker for different wooden toys, he had a mentor of his. Now, what the DM did was gave them an opportunity to run into that mentor. I won't give it any more than that, but as you look up on the screen, you can see his face light up. This is a grown man so excited by just involving a little of his backstory. If your player included a 5-page backstory that you're having so much fun developing and pulling into it and really combining into your story, that's perfect. Now, if you get somebody who only gave you 2 sentences and one of them just says, "I like horses," well, then throw a wizard who got polymorphed into a horse who needs the party's help to be able to get out of it. The whole idea is to involve how they thought the campaign was going to go into the setting. And yeah, there can be some restrictions, but let's be honest. It's all about making a group experience. And the best part of the group is all the different ideas that come out of it. Now, if you want other ways to impress your players and make them fall in love with the sessions, try bringing more real life into your session. Now, this works for both virtual tabletop and normal play. Now, if you really want to impress your players, you can have them roll a perception check to check the dead body and have them end up finding a real life letter. As you hand it over to them and see the look on their face, it'll be the same dopamine rush as getting a full 8 hours of sleep without feeling any guilt in the morning. If you have a feeling that your puzzles are too easy at the table, then bring them a real life puzzle and give them hints along the way as they roll better investigation checks or as they roll better insight checks. Now, just make sure you can solve it yourself. Finally, another factor that could really improve the D&D experience that you have with your friends is not playing D&D at all. Now, this is going to be hard to hear, but you can actually change the game you're playing. If your table needs a break from D&D, that's fine. Maybe try Monster of the Week, or Candela Obscura, or maybe even Pathfinder, or Call of Cthulhu. There are so many great options out there that can give you just as much enjoyment out of in case the rules are getting a little stale. Maybe your table doesn't want to play an RPG that week. You guys can just sit and chat, or play Jackbox, or just talk. Honestly, sometimes my sessions take an hour and all we get done is just chatting about what we did that week. And most of the time, the most fun you have at D&D is the people that you're playing with. And that's what you're going to remember the most. Let's be honest here. Everybody gets tired of the same old, same old. It's totally okay. Everybody experiences burnout. Now, these are just some different pieces of advice that you can use with your players or your DM to make them fall in love with D&D again. I'm gonna take a second here and just say, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching this, and I really hope that you have the best of rolls, the best sessions, and really kill that big bad. Once again, this has been AJ with First Time DM. Cheers.